Good morning, Year 10s, and welcome to the first of our video lessons. Just a couple of things before we start, a couple of things that you need to know. So there's a Word document in the Show My Homework assignment that you need to download. As we are watching the video, it's probably best to sort of pause the video and fill that out as you're going along. You might find that easier. That's how I would recommend that you do it. And obviously take as long as you need. You can pause the video for as long as you need as we're going along. And it shouldn't take you a huge amount of time. I've tried to make sure that it will stick to the hour. The video is not going to be that long, but you'll obviously add in the pauses as you go along. So you'll see that this is a revision lesson. So we're not going to start a new topic now. We're going to revise a little bit because we've not been in school for a while. And then for the first few weeks of school closure, we were using Onshape. So we're going to do some revision of our specialist topic just to get us back into the swing of things and get us thinking about the theory again. All right, so this one is going to be about timbers, which is our specialist topic. So it's really important for our GCSE exam. Okay. Just a quick update on your NEA or your coursework. Your NEA, most of you will remember, hopefully, that it's worth 50% of your grade. The original start date that we had in mind was the 1st of June. That's what I had told you originally. Now, obviously, things have changed since we had that conversation, since I explained that it was going to be on the 1st of June. You guys are working from home. Some of you have access to computers, some of you don't. Some of you have people living at home who might be able to help you, which would be against the rules, so that wouldn't be fair. And then some of you don't have anybody to help you. Some of you will watch these videos, some people won't watch the videos. So I don't think that it's fair for us to start the NEA, which is worth 50% of your real GCSE, while people have different situations at home. So the NEA is supposed to take 35 hours of lesson time. So if we start it later on, then we've still got 35 hours before the hand-in date. We've got about 60 hours of lessons before the hand-in date in reality. So it's perfectly fine for us to have a think about ways that we can sort of delay that so that we all start at the same time and that it's fair. I will definitely give you the context, so I will tell you what you've got, what the context from the exam board are before the summer holidays, so that you can at least be thinking about different ideas for products and different problems that you might try and solve. Hopefully I will see you long before then, so that we can launch it properly. But you will have the context before the summer holidays. So that's the NEA. I just wanted to give you an update because I know some of you will have been keen to start and get going, but we're going to hold fire for now, and I'll update you when I can see you, really. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks. All right, so on to the lesson that we're going to do today. Activity 1. So on your Word document, you'll see that activity 1, there's a little orange box, and all I want you to do is to, in that box, write down the name of any timbers that you remember from the lesson that we did already. Okay, so any lesson that you can think, or any timbers that you can think of, you can write them in that box. If you wanted to challenge yourself a little bit more, you could write down if the timber is a hardwood or a softwood. If you really wanted to challenge yourself, you could write down some of the properties of that material. So that little orange box on the first page of that document is your chance to write down what you remember about timbers that we covered in lesson. I would recommend that you pause the video now for 4 minutes and that you give that a go now. Okay, hopefully you've all paused the video. You've written down all the timbers that you knew, maybe a little bit about them if you wanted to challenge yourself. And hopefully you remembered quite a few different types of timber. Okay, so the next activity, so activity 2, and again, this is one that is on your Word document, we are going to fill in the hierarchy of timbers flowchart. Okay, just let me get a different color marker. Okay, so the way this works are if we put timbers at the top, and you can see that my writing is not as neat as my wife's writing, who did this bit at the top. So if you write in timbers at the top, and then we'll break it down into the 3 different categories of timber. Okay, I hope that we can remember all 3. So the first is hardwoods. The second is softwoods. And the third are man-made boards. Okay. Hardwoods, softwoods, man-made boards. All right. In these boxes down below, you'll have more space to type because yours is on computer and the box will get bigger as you type. You can write in the name of as many different hardwoods as you can remember will go in this box. I'm only going to do 2 for now. So I'm going to do ash and oak because I want you to write in the ones that you remember. You will hopefully remember quite a few. In softwoods, write in all the softwoods that you remember. So I'm going to write in pine and cedar. And finally, in man-made boards, you're going to write in the names of any man-made boards that you remember. And you should remember MDF and plywood, although there are many, many more that we've studied in class, but you can write in as many as you know. I've given you the easy ones, to be honest. Okay, so pause the video and you're going to type this into activity 2 with as much information as you can. All right, so pause the video now. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you've now done activity 2. Activity 3, what are the differences between hardwoods and softwoods? Again, there's a space on your Word document for you to type this. You can also copy and paste in some images if you like to help you. But we're going to list the differences between hardwoods and softwoods, okay? And one of the first differences, you'll have to forgive my bad sketching, are that softwoods tend to be bushy type trees, okay? And softwoods tend to look like Christmas trees. And again, please forgive my sketching as I'm doing this quickly. That looks pretty terrible, but anyway. Okay, so hardwoods look more like this with more bushy at the top, and softwoods tend to look like Christmas trees. Okay, another difference are that the leaves on a hardwood are broad leaves. So broad means that they're wide, and softwoods have got needle-like leaves, so they're very thin, like needles. Okay. Hardwoods tend to grow slowly. There are some exceptions, but they tend to grow slowly, so we're talking about up to hundreds of years. Softwoods tend to grow quickly, which is one of the reasons why we use them for Christmas trees, because they grow quickly. Okay. Other differences between them. Hopefully you remember loads of them from our lessons. You should be able to fill out maybe 3 or 4 more differences between them quite easily. I'm not going to go through them all because, again, this is revision. You should remember. And there are, obviously, if you can't remember, go back to hardwoods and softwoods on technologystudent.com and you will be able to find out some information there. But you should be able to fill out at least 3 or 4 more on each side. Okay, perfect. Take 5 minutes, go and do that. Okay, activity 4. I have given you a list. On the Word document, it's a little bit confusing because I've put them all on one page, so the instructions are on the page before. But I have given you a list of 9 different timbers that you need to know, okay, for your GCSEs. All right, these are sort of the key ones that you have to know about. I've also given you 3 links to technologystudent.com with some information about the types of wood that are on the list. All right, so for instance, if you click on the technologystudent.com/joints/hardwoods, that will tell you the information about the hardwoods. I'm going to do one of them with you now so that you have an idea what you need to do. So we're going to fill in the balsa box together now. All right, balsa. Some of you will remember that balsa is a lightweight and soft material. It is a hardwood. It's categorized as a hardwood because it comes from a deciduous tree. But if you were to hold a piece of balsa, as we did in lesson before, you'll be able to feel that it's really lightweight and it's really soft. You can, like, if you put your thumb down on it or put your nail on it, you'll make a dent in it. It is a really soft material, okay? Even though it is called a hardwood. It's also fast growing, which is against what we generally say about hardwoods. Normally hardwoods take quite a while to grow, but balsa is one of the faster growing hardwoods. It's pale in color, so it's almost white, just slightly off-white is one of the ways that you can identify balsa, is that it's really pale in color. And it's really easy to cut, okay? So like if when you were younger, you might have got like a toy tool set when you were younger. I remember I got one for Christmas when I was really young, and all the wood that was in there was balsa because it was really easy to cut, all right? So it's a good way for students to learn, or for children to learn how to use different tools. Balsa, just so you know, is used for model making quite often, all right? So like if you are somebody who likes model airplanes and things like that, they're often made from balsa wood, because balsa is really easy to cut and shape, and it's really light as well, so it's really good for that material, or for that purpose, okay? Now, the last thing that you need to do on that PowerPoint is the extension questions, which are at the bottom. And the extension questions, there are only 3, so I'm not asking you to do loads and loads of work. But the first one is to describe 3 advantages that man-made boards have over natural wood. So that's 3 things that mean that man-made boards are sometimes more useful than natural woods. And I'll give you one example, and then you've got to come up with 2 more yourself. So one of them are that man-made boards, such as MDF, are available in large sheet sizes. Okay, and if you think about it, if we're only using natural wood, that wood is limited by the size of the tree. We can't get a really wide board. We can't get a board that's that wide if trees only grow that wide. Okay, so MDF allows us to make the board as wide as we would like, which is an advantage for some things. Like for instance, if you're making a really wide table, you might want a really wide board of MDF. Okay, so that's one advantage. You've got to think of 2 more. Name the hardwood that is very light, very soft, easy to cut, and easy to shape. That one should be quite straightforward. And finally, what timber are mallets made from. When I say mallets, I mean the ones that we use in the workshop for chiseling. What properties of this material make it suitable for making mallets? So if you think about a mallet, what it's used for, there is very specific properties that the mallet needs to have, okay? And there's one timber that has those properties. So I want you to think about that. What's the timber? What properties make it suitable for making mallets? All right. Your work, I want you to upload your work directly to Show My Homework. So don't email it to me. If you have any questions, please comment on the Show My Homework and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. But don't email your work to me. Email it or upload it to Show My Homework. It's easier to sort of mark and get you feedback than if you email it to me. All right, stay safe and hopefully see you soon.